Hi, everyone. So we have a full moon in Scorpio, and this particular full moon is really good for us to harness our power, especially if we feel like we are in situations that are creating some kind of tension, or if you feel like there's been an injustice somewhere in your life. This is a really good opportunity to use that power of the full moon in Scorpio to really try to transform that energy and even transform yourself during a time that you feel might be a little uneasy for you. So I'd like to roll a zodiac dice too to see if there's another zodiac sign that we should be working with besides Scorpio. So we have Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is a very spontaneous type of energy. So I do feel like there is some spontaneity involved with this power that we're going to harness from the sun. I'm sorry, from the moon in Scorpio. But let's see what else wants to come out. I do like that energy of Sagittarius and Scorpio, though. It's a good combination. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play into the reading. I have 4 tarot decks, 3 of which we will use for clarification. So we're starting with Judgment, which I have to flip over to meet the YouTube guidelines. King of Pentacles, 4 of Swords, 7 of Swords, 8 of Swords. Underneath, the Lovers, which I also have to flip over, Queen of Swords, 2 of Pentacles, 2 of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and underneath everything is the 8 of Wands. So the 8 of Wands is a card that emphasizes that you are in alignment because you stood up for something or someone, or you stood up for your beliefs. You stood up for something, you stood your ground, you didn't back down, and so now you are in alignment, which makes sense because your current energy is the Judgment. So it does feel like you've kind of passed a test recently, or you have really understand how far you have come, which is giving you the confidence to keep betting on yourself, understanding your beliefs. And we did say that with Sagittarius, that this is someone who really is wise and understands their beliefs and their highest ideals. And that's what I'm getting from this 8 of Wands, which also is a card that represents Sagittarius, is that you have this a lot of courage and faith in yourself built up because you have strong beliefs about something and you're not afraid to stand up for those beliefs. So Judgment is here with the Lovers, and these are both major arcana. And I do get the feeling that the universe is really trying to nudge you to keep going with whatever this is that you believe in, that it's time for you to make a high level decision. Are you going to follow your alignment with your highest good, or are you going to stay small in whatever your fears are? Because I do see the 8 of Swords here too, which we'll get to. But it does feel like you have this high level choice to make. And that's the same thing that the Lovers represents. The Judgment and the Lovers are both about making high level choices. And the Lovers is about following your heart and understanding that there's something greater. There's a greater purpose for you in being here than what maybe just meets the eye. And so I do think that you are being called to establish this decision. Because we're seeing the 2 of Swords here too, which is also about a decision. So I'm seeing 3 cards, at least so far, of having to make some kind of a decision. But I also get the impression with Judgment and the Lovers being major arcana, that there's a lot going on around you behind the scenes, perhaps in the quantum field, definitely with this full moon being in Scorpio, and now working with this Sagittarius energy that's hiding underneath the deck. I do get the feeling that you are meant right now to just stay silent and just to pay attention and observe everything that's going on around you before you make a decision. I'm getting that strongly because these are both major arcana that you're sitting in that energy. So you're really being asked to focus on mostly your patience, I'm getting from this King of Pentacles. There's a person in your energy who's showing up as a Queen of Swords and a Queen of Pentacles. This is the same person, but there is someone around you, very much so, in your energy. And I do get the sense that there is a need for you to be patient with that person. I don't necessarily get the sense that you have to really do anything beyond that. I don't think you have to give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't think that you have to really deal with them. But I do get the sense that whoever this person is for you, and we'll keep going to see if we can get more information, but it does feel like this person is the one that's causing an injustice in your life. And that just to stay put is what I'm getting from this King of Pentacles. This King of Pentacles looks very comfortable. This person is surrounded by everything they need. This person is sitting still in a chair, and it's time to make a decision about something that's going on, but don't make it yet. Just stay put is what this King of Pentacles is telling me. Because this Queen of Swords person who's around you and perhaps causing this injustice, I feel like that person is trying to challenge you because this person has their sword in the air, which is a sword of conflict. So it feels like this person is trying to start some kind of a conflict with you. But what I see with this King of Pentacles is you're basically ignoring it. So, and then there's further evidence with this Four of Swords that you're meant to not do anything. This Four of Swords is a card of rest and accepting a situation for what it is and not engaging in it. You don't fight back when you're in a Four of Swords. In fact, you retreat from battle when you're in a Four of Swords. So, but I can see with this Two of Pentacles that you're still weighing these options. You're still trying to figure out if you should engage in this or what the benefit would be to engaging in a fight with this person or just staying out of it. But I can see that you are fluctuating between these two energies of perhaps wanting to engage, but also saying, this doesn't benefit me to engage in this. So, but I think that's going to be the challenge for you, is holding back, because you are fluctuating between wanting to fight and this person wants to fight. So if you want to fight, then there will be a fight. But this is what I'm saying, the challenge it looks like it's going to be. But you're being asked to not do anything, to not engage. So the message coming through here, though, is just the Seven of Swords is a card of avoidance. And so since it's coming through as the advice and the message, it's almost saying to avoid making this decision. This is what this is saying. Avoid a decision is what this is giving me. And so it does feel like you need more time to just see the course of events and see how it plays out before you do anything at all. That's coming through pretty strongly about that. And the Two of Swords has this moon here. And even though it's the crescent moon in this card, we've been talking about this full moon in Scorpio and using the power of this full moon to help you transform yourself and the energy around you. And I even said, especially if you feel like there's some injustice or some tension around you. But the moon in any of the tarot cards is assigned to be intuitive about something. So use your intuition and your intellect, because the swords indicate and the swords represent your intellect. But to use both your intuition and your intellect before you make any kind of a decision at all. Because generally your intuition is going to give you the answer that you need. So rather than using this Sagittarius energy, which can be pretty impulsive, and that's what I'm now getting from this Eight of Wands underneath the deck, is that this was hiding because you do feel like you want to be impulsive about something. But this is saying to just be still. Be this King of Pentacles, still your mind, still your reactions until you can let this probably wash past you. I can see by the end of this full moon period, though, that you're still in this Eight of Swords energy where you feel like perhaps there's something that you need to do, but not engaging in it is stressing you out more than engaging in it. But I do think, especially with this Queen of Pentacles here, that this person is going to change their tone by the end of this full moon period as long as you don't engage. This person is going to transform, which is what we've been talking about, using this moon energy, this full moon in Scorpio energy, to transform from this very maybe combative person into someone who's willing to be grounded and match your energy. So maybe you can come up with a resolution in a nicer way is what I'm really getting from that. So this is just a way for you to earn power in your own self, that you understood that you took an unstable position, an unstable situation, and you turned it into a stable situation by not engaging, avoiding a decision, don't do anything, hold yourself back. And that is the high level decision. The high level decision is between engaging in a petty, low level fight or taking the high ground and ignoring it, and then watching how the situation transforms because you didn't do anything at all. So let's get some more tarot to see what else wants to come out, if there are more energies that can be helpful for us in this trying time. Because I get it, I'm a fire sign, I'm an Aries, so I know all about impulsivity and wanting to engage in fights, even if they're not particularly helpful or necessary. There's this feeling, especially among fire signs, which I think is why we rolled the Sagittarius. Not because you have to necessarily be a fire sign, but it could just be because you're feeling the fire right now because someone's trying to pick a fight. That's what this feels like. So with the Judgment and the Lovers, we have the Tower, the Seven of Pentacles, and the World, which I'm going to flip over. So the World showing up here is really important because, again, I do feel like this is a really important, significant, spiritual, high-level decision that you're making. And I think I said at some point in this reading that it feels like you're being tested or you're passing a test. And I do think that you not engaging in this fight is the test. And with the World showing up here with two other majors, this is really saying that you are completing a cycle, that this is a level up for you somehow in a spiritual sense. But then we have, again, here's the decision, the Tower or the Seven of Pentacles. You can either be patient and let this play out, or the Tower could hit. You could let your emotions and your impulses take over, but then this situation is just going to get worse in that case, is what the cards are saying. So the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords are being clarified by the Knight of Cups, the Eight of Wands again. So we have the Eight of Wands showing up here twice. And then we have the 10 of Cups. So this is giving a very strong energy that this is a love interest for you, or this is a partner in some way for you, because we do have the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, and that's a couple. And I didn't want to mention that until I had more cards to confirm it, but this could be someone you're dating, someone you're married to, someone you live with, someone who's just irritated right now and trying to poke at your buttons. But this is what this is really saying, is especially because I'm seeing the Knight of Cups and the 10 of Cups, that this is someone who ultimately makes you really happy. So your impulsiveness with the Eight of Wands, if you're engaging in a fight, for example, that's not going to be helpful in getting your true happiness. For those of you who this is not a love interest or a couple, make this make sense for you. It could be a business partner, it could be a neighbor. It really doesn't matter. Make it make sense for your story. But it does feel like you can just really put this whole situation just on ice and then watch it transform, as we've already said. So the Four of Swords and the Two of Pentacles is clarified by the Hierophant. We got two here, so I'll take them both. The Four of Wands and the Six of Wands, and the Five of Swords. So the Hierophant is this card of a teacher, a spiritual teacher. And I almost get the sense, because the Hierophant's falling right on top of the Four of Swords, that you're meant to teach this person, whoever this person is who's trying to pick a fight with you, you're meant to teach this person that when you don't engage, it makes them see almost just how combative or how petty they are. It's like if you just back away from the argument, it's almost like you're holding up a mirror to them so they can see their own behavior, because you're not behaving in any way. You've chosen to not do anything. And I feel like that's why the Hierophant is here, because it's teaching this person their own mistakes, their own missteps in trying to pick fights with you when you're not even engaging in them in the first place. So I do see a victory there with the Four of Wands and the Six of Wands. Those are both very optimistic energies and stability. But the Six of Wands can also be a card of ego, where again, you're holding up a mirror to this person so they can see just how petty or nonsensical they're being in this situation. And it really just helps you to make your case. And that's what this Five of Swords is saying, that this person is being petty. They might be playing mind games. They might be gaslighting you, but you're just shrugging your shoulders and saying, well, I don't really care. You're acting like a crazy person and I don't like it. So I'm just going to back off. And you can see now how you've behaved. Hopefully that made sense. So with the Seven of Swords and the Two of Swords, we have the Page of Wands, the Three of Swords, and the Emperor. So yeah, so this is fun. I love how these cards fell out because we have a Page of Wands and an Emperor. And the conflict is represented by this. Oh, that's not the Three of Swords. That's the Five of Swords, which we had here too. Okay, so either way, the message is very similar, but it's stronger now with this Five of Swords because this is tying back to this Five of Swords. So it's saying this is a person who doesn't fight fair, right? We've established that. But then we have this person who we know doesn't fight fair. This is a Page of Wands fighting an Emperor. So I don't know of any battle that a page is going to beat an emperor, right? That's the energy this is giving. There's a page fighting a battle with an emperor. So of course you're going to win because a page is going to come in with more of this maybe immature attitude or immature way of coming in. And the Page of Wands is very impulsive. The Page of Wands really likes to be in this Eight of Wands energy where they're impulsively seeking the next thing or the next fight or whatever. But you're showing up as the Emperor who is sitting here doing nothing. Just like this King of Pentacles, you showed up sitting here doing nothing. Both of these cards, you're just sitting in your throne doing literally nothing and watching this person make a fool out of themselves. I just keep getting that. So with the Eight of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles, we have the Seven of Cups, the Magician, and there's that Two of Swords again. So we have the Two of Swords showing up again. So this is really, okay, so this Magician energy is confirming what we said when we first sat down, that this is a way for you to really transform this energy. This is a way for you to really transform this situation. And we watch this person that you're fighting with or who's trying to fight with you turn from a Queen of Swords to a Queen of Pentacles, the arguer to someone who's ready to listen. And so I do think the Magician showed up here to show that you did, by the end of this full moon cycle, you did transform this energy, which by the way is only a few days that energy is still around. But the Seven of Cups, again, is the card of choices. So you really get to choose in this situation, which I think is going to be pretty easy for you. That's the challenge, though, is to not be impulsive, to not engage, and to just walk away. When someone picks a fight, just walk away. This is the test, and it looks like you're definitely going to pass it. I can see you transforming this energy by the end of this cycle. So that is your reading for the full moon in Scorpio. Will you please let me know how this was resonant for you? And we will do this again sometime. Thanks, everybody. Bye.